Alright, so just what I was gathering up some for supper. I grabbed some parsley out of the garden. I just took the big stems off, gave it a wash, and just dried it on this paper towel. I threw it in the blender with a little bit of oil, and then freeze it in these ice cube trays. I think these were literally from IKEA. I don't even know if they still make them anymore. I got them at a yard sale. But I like to freeze my herbs in these. They come out nice. It's a nice amount to throw in a soup or spaghetti sauce or whatever, and they stack in really nicely. All right, I'll get this mixed up and frozen in ice cream trays. All right, so that's ready for the freezer. Pop that in the freezer for a day or two until I remember about it again, and I will take it out and put it in a freezer bag. All right, so it's the next day. I just popped these out and put them in a freezer bag. I put yesterday's date on them. So those sticks too, I like those molds because they fit really nice in a medium freezer bag. And then when I'm doing something that I need parsley, I usually grab a stick, or they're really even easy to break in two or just break a chunk off. So that's how I like to do a lot of my annual herbs, parsley, basil, dill. I don't do it for cilantro because I'm the only person that likes cilantro, so I tend to just eat that fresh as it is in the garden. All right, there we go, on to the next project. All right, so this isn't preserving per se, but I just had a couple of jars of jam downstairs that the kids don't really particularly love the flavor of. And I'm gonna make fruit leather. I have done it before in the dehydrator, but I get these off Amazon the other day, the silicone mats, and I wanna see if they're any better than using the parchment. I can tell you just spreading them out, they're much better. So we have honey, blueberry peach, cranberry sauce, just plain cranberry sauce. These are all made with Pomona's pectin, so they're low sugar or low honey. Cranberry strawberry. And this is a sugar-free that I used with Pomona's pectin, but I used the sweetener. So this is a sugar-free strawberry, and this is also a sugar-free strawberry. I want to do a test between the two different types of trays to see if I should have bought these ones instead. These only came in a 4-pack, and I have 6 trays, so. All right, I'm gonna pop these in, and probably tomorrow we'll do a test and see which one came out best. So while that jam is in the dehydrator, turning into fruit leather for snacks for the kids, I boiled off a bunch of eggs. We are swimming in eggs. I think I had 7 or 8 dozen in the fridge, and we're getting about 6 a day. So I decided to make pickled eggs. So I boiled these eggs and I just set them on a kitchen towel. I find it makes them a lot easier to peel. And then I made a simple brine of just 1 part vinegar to 1 part water. And for every 2 cups of brine, I put in 2 teaspoons of canning salt. I use a kosher salt, but there's also pickling salt, just something that doesn't have any clumping agents, or your brine will go cloudy. So I just set them on the kitchen towel here, and I find it makes them a lot easier to peel. There's always going to be some, especially with fresh chicken eggs, that just don't want to give up that membrane. But overall, I've found this method makes some pretty good, makes it pretty easy to peel hard-boiled eggs. There was one just there that I'll just put in. I'm going to make a potato salad the next day, so I'll just put them aside and they'll get thrown in with my potato salad, or the kids will eat them. So with the brine, I just bring it to a boil just to get that salt dissolved, and then I turn off the heat and just let it come to room temperature. I don't like adding hot brine to cold eggs, especially since you're going to be throwing them in the fridge. So I'll just get these eggs peeled up and then I'll show you the next step. So I went ahead and put a couple of our quail eggs in as well. I haven't actually pickled quail eggs before, but I figured we had a few extra laying around. I'd throw them in as well. We've been just eating them just hard boiled, and they are so good. They have a very rich yolk. My daughter actually compares it to cheese, and just show you the difference between a regular chicken egg and a quail egg. So I'm just going to fill up both of the jars. As you can tell, these aren't actual canning jars. I think one of them had mayonnaise in it, and one of them was a store-bought sauerkraut I bought at one time. I do save most of my glass jars for things like this. I don't like to use mason jars because I'd like to keep them for canning. If you look in the background there as well, there is a little container of bacon grease. That's something else I saved for the fridge. We had bacon the other night, and I just drained off the bacon fat, and I'll use that in anything, greasing a pan or adding to some sort of baked good. I don't find it, I mean, it does have a bit of a bacony taste, but I think bacony taste is good. So I'm just topping them both up with the same brine. That's the 1 part vinegar to 1 part water, and then 2 teaspoons of salt per 2 cups of brine. So super simple project. That's all there is to making pickled eggs. These will sit in the fridge for about 2 weeks, and then once they're starting to be consumed, I find by the time everybody has a couple, before you know it, they're gone, and it'll be time to make a new batch. So August 2nd is all wrapped up. So August 3rd was Saturday. That was the day we did the big barbecue. And this is the leftover homemade mayonnaise from that. So August 4th was Sunday. I decided all the dried bok choy seeds I had, I was going to take them off the stems and save them in a mason jar. And I'm going to save those for making sprouts in the wintertime. So this was 1 plant that went to seed, and it produced about 50 grams. It says 49 on here, but it's so darn close. 50 grams of seeds from 1 plant. So that always just amazes me, the sheer volume of seeds. Now, not all these seeds may not be viable, but a good portion of them will be. And yeah, I'll just take a tablespoon of this and put it in a mason jar and sprout it in the wintertime when it's a little bit harder to get fresh veggies into our diet. So a nice quick Sunday project, and we'll really appreciate these in the winter for sprouts. All right, nice, super easy project today. I just went out and grabbed some plantain, nasturtiums, calendula, a couple echinacea. I'm just gonna dry these out. And the calendula and the plantain, I will just put it in oil. I'm gonna dry them, then put them in oil and make like a balm. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the echinacea yet. I may just dry it out and we'll see. And then the nasturtiums are going on a little veggie tray I'm going to make for some edible decoration. So I have a few here I picked a couple days ago. I just let them dry out about a bit up here, just on a towel. And then once these are all mostly dry, I'll just pop them into my dehydrator here and get them lots of dry to put them in the oil. So once again, not really preservation. I'm actually filming this on the 8th, but I started these on the 5th. These are my brassicas that will be going out in my garlic beds that I emptied a couple days ago. So we got kohlrabi. I did a couple spinach. I did a couple of cauliflowers, a couple broccoli, Grand Rapids lettuce, ruby red lettuce, and white Boston lettuce. There is a white Boston lettuce coming up already. A couple bok choy, Napa cabbage, and then the most I have is the golden acre cabbage. It stores well, it makes nice sauerkraut, it makes nice coleslaw, and I think I'm going to try to can some as well. There's none coming up of that yet, but this is what I did on the 5th after I can't remember now. I gotta look at what I did on the 5th. All right, there we go, more stuff. Good morning. It's the first week of August here in Nova Scotia, and it is time to pull the garlic. Most of these beds have already been pulled, as you can see. This one's empty, this one's empty. This one is empty of garlic, but there's still loads and loads of weeds in it. I've been pulling as I go, the weeds, but it got too hot yesterday when I was trying to do this. Yeah, I started out strong and ended up with weeds. So this is one of my indicator garlics. I meant to only leave one, but I ended up leaving a couple. But once the garlic that I don't pull the scape from, I leave one scape. And once that's standing up straight, it's time to pull the garlic. So this is very much straight. This is the bulbils that form if you don't pull your scape. So it's going to seed. And then the other way to tell, it's going to be hard to tell on these. On the bottom 4 leaves are brown. So 1, 2, 3, and this would have been the 4th, are brown, but there's still some green on the tops. That way you're going to pull them before, when they're as big as they can get, basically before they start to split, because they will start to split in the ground because they want to grow more garlics. Now, these might look a bit weird because I came through here with an alpha knife and I just cut off all the tops. This is absolutely not necessary. It's actually better if you leave the full stalk on. However, I have a lot of garlic and very limited room to dry it. So I cut off the tops just so I can still get the benefit of them curing with the stalks on, but they'll fit in my trays to dry them. It's a space issue for me because I have a very small space, and I haven't been counting them, but I think I'm over 800. So I'm going to pull this bed today and add it to the rest of my garlic I have in the driveway. I just have a tarp over it. And then today I'm going to bring it all in the house. That is my preserving project for today, is curing garlic. All right, I'm going to get these pulled and then I'm going to get them all in the house. Look like some good sized bulb this year. August 6th complete. Just pulled out the second batch of nectarines. I did a hot pack on these and processed in the water bath canner for 20 minutes. This one hasn't sealed yet, but I just took out these couple here. That one hasn't sealed yet either. So it made 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pints and 1/2 pint. So with the 3/4 of a cup of sugar, the cost of the lids, and I used 3.5 of the baskets of nectarines at $3.97 a basket. These work out to $1.50 per jar, slightly less, of course, for the little guy back there. So there is the first week of August complete, and it truly is, every little bit does count. Thanks so much for watching. Bye now.